I saw Cabin Fever, Eli Roth's first feature film, when I was 10 years old. My older sister borrowed it from Video Easy, which was an Australian blockbuster, and boy did I love it. The copy we had included an introduction from Peter Jackson describing the film as one of the most disgusting he'd ever seen, and it didn't disappoint. I was particularly pleased with this moment as a kid.
I fucking made it! I fucking made it!
We also borrowed Darkness Falls, directed by Jonathan Liebsman, and it was great to have a horror double feature, one gory, one spooky. My sister's friend stayed the night, and naturally I had a crush on her, so it was cool to watch a scary movie on the couch together. Good times, core memory. Where was I? Ah yes, fast forward a few years and Eli Roth then gave us the classic Hostel 1 and 2, and the very good Bear Jew in what I'm comfortable arguing is Tarantino's best film. Though I find Reservoir Dogs to be his most emotionally impactful, most of Tarantino's films lack heart, but Dogs is an exception. The ending genuinely moves me, though most of the praise ought to go to Harvey Keitel's performance. There's so much grief in those final few seconds. And so, because I'm going to focus now, I was very excited to go and see Eli Roth's latest film, Thanksgiving. As I'm sure everyone knows, this was based off a trailer he made for Tarantino and Rodriguez's Grindhouse double feature, and people have been quite rightly begging for it. The story begins with a Black Friday tragedy as a stampede of greedy, psychotic Americans destroy several lives in the pursuit of a bargain.
Black Friday Bedlam once again took a...
I love America so much, but I can't deny you guys can be like aliens to me sometimes. Why do you need a waffle toaster that bad? Anyway, several people die and lives are ruined. We fast forward a year and the town are gearing up once again for a Thanksgiving extravaganza, including a town parade and a big sale at Right Mart, the site of last year's tragedy. But someone is sending threatening Instagram messages to the town's teens, all of whom were at the store that fateful night, and this mysterious villain goes by the Carver. I guess that's because you carve a turkey for Thanksgiving, right? That makes sense. And the Carver is out for blood! Will the teens survive this nightmarish vision of festive cheer? And who is the mastermind behind the murders that start to stack up? Visit your local Cineplex and find out today! Eli Roth is very underrated. The guy deserves so much praise as a modern master of schlock, but doesn't seem to get anything like it. Largely I think because his style has been reviled by sensitive types. From its opening, remember me, fuck you, Halloween reference, through to its fuck you, this is my house subversion of expectations, Eli Roth makes it abundantly clear that he's able to make a great horror movie. He knows how to compose an image and get the pacing of a story right. He knows how to use liminal space to create a sense of isolation and unease. He knows how to quickly introduce characters and set up their personalities so that they behave in a manner which makes sense in the second and third act. Anyone who likes horror movies can tell that Roth knows what he's doing in the storytelling department. The real challenge, in my opinion, and what's genuinely worth praising first up, is the challenge of creating inventive and thrilling or visceral kills like he did with Hostel. It's not easy bringing something fresh to the table that makes someone lean forward a bit or recoil in shock, and Roth absolutely delivers the goods here. The most exciting part to me was how he subverts expectations in the process of creating a superior murder sequence. For instance, we get a clear as day setup in the opening 30 minutes when an antique axe is stolen from a historical site. Then we get the clear as day subversion when the axe is shown in the killer's hands but not utilized. Now Roth doesn't stop there though. He doesn't give us what we expected because he instead wants to give us something better. And so we'll get people being cut in half with the lid of an industrial bin or beheaded by garrote wire. How these deaths come about are a real highlight, and praise needs to be given to Jeff Rendell's writing as well, which is why his name is in the title. Another part of this which I appreciated is that some sequences are longer than most horror movies would be, allowing for greater tension. We expect a person to be chopped in two, but then they escape. We expect them to be captured quickly, but they're actually intelligent, so they get quite a distance away. The would-be victim then sets up a trap for their attacker and is in a position where they could come away victorious, only to lose in the end in a manner you didn't see coming when the sequence began. The point is that Roth and Rendell are playing with us, but not to make themselves look smart, no. Instead, they're playing with the audience to give them a better experience. They're subverting your expectations, yes, yes, but not because they're trying to appear unique. They're doing it all because they want you to have fun and know how to control your emotions to that outcome. Rendell knows how to write a horror movie, and Roth sure knows how to film it. At this point, I will talk about my biggest criticism. It's too accessible. If you watch the original Grindhouse trailer and then watch this film, you'll see clear as day that they toned down certain elements, especially if you're interested in grainy footage and more nudity. Now, I appreciate that the original Grindhouse double feature didn't make money at the box office, but nevertheless, I like the outrageous style. I like the mixture of tones. It's also why I think Hobo with a Shotgun is the best film from the series.
And bicycles? And hobos! I hate hobos!
So Roth and Rendell don't fully embrace the Grindhouse vibe, and this will probably play a part in Thanksgiving being well received and making lots of money. Everyone can go see a well-made horror movie this holiday season. That's great, but I was a little disappointed. I don't mind seeing something grotesque. Another strength are setups, payoffs, and red herrings. This is fundamental writing, and yet so many modern writers fail constantly to get the basics right. Rendell is an exception who focuses on doing the simple stuff right. And so, a character who had to spend hours setting up a musket and firing it gets the opportunity to put this to the test against the carver. A character who is hinted at being the killer has false clues sprinkled throughout the story, rather than just one moment at its start to deceive the audience subtly. Only of course for us to find out it's someone else. Very simple stuff, but overlooked in 2023, and so it's worth mentioning. All the same horror tropes are here, but they're executed exquisitely. Another weakness for me is that the killer is obvious, even with the red herrings. The classically good-looking middle-aged white guy did it.
No way. No way.
Who could have seen that coming? Oh, you know, anyone who has been paying attention to how films have changed since 2012. Worse still, Roth and Rendell seem to have failed to realize the lessons from the My Bloody Valentine remake or Scream 4 onwards, and so they cast a named actor as the killer. It's obvious certain actors wouldn't take a role unless they'd be significantly represented on screen, and so you can quickly guess who's who. It really annoys me that something so obvious needs to be stated. Sometimes I delude myself into thinking I'm the reincarnation of Daryl Zanuck because I swear I could run the artistic and business side simultaneously with ease. It's all so obvious, I'm going to cut my eyes out. Nevertheless, knowing exactly who the killer is doesn't destroy the fun. In sharp contrast to the recently released It's a Wonderful Knife, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving has enough sense not to try and spread a political message. Ironically, the absence of a message has gotten Roth in trouble in the past, such as those who claimed his Death Wish remake was pro-gun, simply for being authentic. I still can't believe someone went into a movie called Death Wish thinking it'd be a hippie flick.
Bunch of goddamn fucking hippies.
Caveat emptor, my friend, caveat emptor. Or better yet, remove politics from any discussion about a film's artistic merits. Cinephiles aren't running Hollywood, and it's causing all these nutcases to lose it when someone comes along and just says, yeah, I like movies. Here's one I made that celebrates the art form. It's too early to say if Thanksgiving will be a classic, but I'd be hard-pressed not to recommend it because I had a blast. All the horror films you've seen before are here in Thanksgiving, but they're reinvigorated with enormous life and creativity. So, I would say that it's easily one of the best slasher films America has put out in a while. If you like horror movies, then you must go see Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.